who gave her speech
Hey.
at the UE Global Campus. That was an amazing speech. You're running for politics, Bria. That was a really amazing speech, and congrats to you again.
I didn't watch it. I saw a little clipping the introduction, and her introduction was quite powerful and confident. That's what kind of sold to me. So congratulations to her and to all the other Vincies and Caribbean nationals who graduated from the UWI Global Campus. It's not open campus anymore. It's global. Global. I'm gonna upgrade you. Big up to all the students, all the existing students as well, and even the alumni.
Yeah, so big up to Braxa. You had your work cut out for you this weekend. I drove to Camden Park, almost crashed into a pile from a landslide. Mespo, the road to Mespo was horrible.
You been nice, bro?
And yes, I went to a little gathering at Mespo.
Talk business. Yeah.
But but I saw a lot of slippage and I saw a lot of landslides. But Braxa was on it this weekend, clearing up the roads, putting everything how it should be. So good morning to Braxa this morning. We'll have to point out when people not walking, they walk. They walk this weekend.
Well, it is their responsibility. It's their job. But big up yourselves, all right? Thank you for doing what you do. Uh, you know, the landslides, land slippage, and all of that. When you have rain coming for such a long period of time, the soil will get really saturated. Rain has been coming for a couple days, steady, making it real hard to wash. Luckily for those people who bought dryers, you guys are very lucky over this weekend here. But looking for those folks who ventured to the leeward side of the island, on Friday morning when I was coming down, the road was normal. To my memory, normal. I'm speaking about the hospital corner, right? Friday afternoon, I noticed that part of the road was gone. It's like a gigantic pothole. And this morning, of course, over the weekend, with the amount of rain that came, a lot of water washed away parts of that road at Hospital Corner in Kingston.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
The hole, or what was left, it looks like a little pool. I'm not kidding. It's about probably
I
like,
fell in it. I was driving, Jeep bounce in, bounce out.
no, if you fell into the hole
No,
from
it
this
wasn't that
morning.
big. It wasn't that big.
Oh, I talking about from this
No,
morning.
Friday. And then Saturday I saw
It's like a
it
kiddie pool.
It was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
It was a lot bigger.
A little kiddie pool. Like, it's filled with water right now. Kiddie pool. Because wow. Water, whatever pathway it needs, it will take it. That's all I gotta say on that. And the road is actually blocked off. So if you're driving from the leeward side, you have to go through Stony Ground and go over to come down into town. If you're driving to the leeward side, before it was from, if you're driving to the leeward side, you would drive as normal. Obviously, you'd have to drive around the cones and so on.
Right.
But that's what the damage that water does is pretty fascinating to watch.
But
Costly, but
jumping into the topics this morning, I'm very curious to hear what are your opinions on the story regarding the Nigerians. Like, what is it exactly? The PM, I saw a headline saying that the PM said that the Nigerians have been here for an extended amount of time should apply for citizenship, right?
yeah, if they're here undocumented over a period of 7 years, then they should pretty much get their documents sorted out and apply for citizenship. The story is quite interesting to me. And if I start talking, you can take up the whole 8 minutes. But it's quite interesting to me because how were you allowed to be here for such a long period of time undocumented? I thought the process was, if you are in the island and you've overstayed your time, no matter what you came to do, vacation, work, study, whatever permit you came on, if you overstayed your time, then you will be asked to leave the country. That's the process. If I go anywhere else, I would have to be ducking people if I overstay my time. And it's stated once you enter, You're given a time frame in which to stay in the country to get whatever you need to do done. So is it a matter of leniency or incompetence? Now, I'm not against you filing for citizenship, not against that. It has nothing to do with ethnicity, color of skin. It has nothing to do with that. But how did that? How did they allow that, or why did they allow that for such a long period of time? For some folks, when there is a story that I want to go back to, where this particular person, and she made the news. She made the news a few times, where she was asked to leave the country when she would have overstayed. I have to get this story. But she would have stayed here for a little bit of time, a little bit of extra time, and she wanted to stay longer. And she was trying to go through the right process and what's not. But I don't know if in the end she ever got through because there was like no follow-up stories to it. But just the difference. That's me for now on that.
All right.
We'll go down in it a little bit more.
Well, I have a mini rant this morning.
6 minutes, mini rant. Let's go.
Mini rant.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I left my newspaper in the vehicle, so I don't have it in front of me.
You have your phone.
My phone don't mean nothing.
Yeah, you have your phone. You have your phone.
But I just want to start by saying, when a bird is alive, it eats ants, and when it is dead, the ants eat it. Keep that in mind this morning. Now, there's a story on the news front page. Let me see. There's a story on the news front page for the weekend paper last Friday, which headlined NBC radio blasted by assistant manager. McTair resigns, accuses corporation of breaches. That's assistant manager Damian McTair. Basically, what I read was an agreement was made, contractual agreement between him and the station. Upon reflection of his performance, a decision was made to then put him on probation. And he didn't like it very much. That's my understanding of it. And so he decided to resign. Now, in my opinion, it was your job as a professional to request a review of the issues that they had with your performance. You did not do that. Instead, you decided to resign, and then upon your resignation, you sent a follow-up letter asking for this review. I think it's too late for that.
Is it? I mean,
I think it's, if you already resigned, why are they going to review it? You already resigned. Yeah, you put the cart before the horse.
You already resigned. However, you are still an employee. So I think
what, the end of December?
So the resignation date according to the letter is the end of December, but you are still an employee until such time.
Then it's a bluff. Then you're not standing for me in your resignation.
No. To ask for feedback on something.
It didn't seem like feedback to me.
No, what was asked for after the fact?
A review.
So you still have a right to get that review because you are still an employee.
We'll see. Now, the question is it unprofessional or was it proper journalism? Now, McTair went on Facebook on Friday and said, if I wanted to announce my resignation from NBC, I would have come on Facebook to make the announcement myself. It is downright shocking and disheartening to see the news media somehow got a copy of a confidential document and it is on the front page of a local newspaper. It is dastardly unprofessional and shows how grave the problem of lack of confidentiality in SVG. Despite this, I remain a professional and committed person, and efforts to pay me otherwise will fail. Now, to me, a journalist, and me as a journalist, to hear a journalist complain about a document being leaked is very hypocritical to me. Now, who leaked it? We don't know. I always say there's no secret between two persons. You don't know if it's a friend of his. We don't know if it is NBC. We don't know who leaked it. I have my own personal opinion on who leaked it, but that's my personal opinion. We don't know for sure. But a few months ago, I think it was in August, Searchlight newspaper published an article about Colin John's retirement. I did not see an uproar about unprofessionalism, who leaked this, because the PM was mum about it, Colin himself was mum about it, but I didn't see an uproar about unprofessionalism. who leaked that information to Searchlight? Or was it just proper journalism? McTeer, when he resigned, he made a post. He didn't make it on Facebook, but he made a post on a social media platform stating that he resigned. So if a journalist came across this information and investigated and was able to get his hands or her hands on the document, I don't see the issue. You yourself are a journalist, and even if you didn't study in journalism, you're a practicing journalist. You should be able to understand the culture of a workplace. You should be able to understand what is it that the organization stands for. And if you don't know what the organization stands for, then you should be able to understand what is it that the organization stands for. Maybe it's unmuted now. I don't know.
No, because you unmuted it in the beginning. It was
Yeah,
unmuted.
I know.
So how did it get back to being muted? I don't
No idea.
understand.
No idea.
Something is
Russians.
really crazy. Or the Canadians.
Well,
Anyways, 7:31. But there's the last section there that you read from his Facebook post, right? Painting a picture. I want to believe it's the 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 story or the image that is being portrayed when you read it and how you think of the individual. There might have been some sort of ill intent. Um, as in, you will get the feeling that there was ill intent coming from him. I want to feel as though that's his issue, and not necessarily that the story was written on him, but it paints a picture that he is this horrible person who doesn't know what he's doing or who's not doing what he's supposed to do.
I didn't get that from the
Because
story.
I
I don't know. I read the
that's
story
how
and
I
what I
felt.
got was the management had an issue with the way he was doing things. He did not see a problem with the way he was doing things. He did not understand the culture at the radio station, and so he rebutted. And that's what I gathered from reading the story. I didn't gather this man is not good at his job. Well, I don't know. From my understanding, I'm going a bit over time. From my understanding, you don't have to be bad at your job to not understand the culture of a workplace. You could be great at your job. You could have a bunch of ideas. But if you don't know what is it that the network plans to achieve, then you're going to bump heads. But that's my opinion.
But when you start working at a place, that's one of the first things that you're supposed to be told.
Yeah, but he
This is
said
these
that
are the objectives, blah blah
he's
blah.
been there for a while and he doesn't understand the culture. So who knows where the disconnect came?
Is it I don't understand the culture, or I think the culture needs to change
Could be that as well.
by understanding. I don't understand why you're still this way when da, 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 da. This is not how this was not the expectation, so and so. But all in all, I think he did the right thing in addressing the issue internally instead of going on social media. What he posted on social media was after he would have dealt with it internally. And I don't think he was very explicit in the contents of his letter. He just said abruptly, briefly, to the point, and that's it. Anyways, left to be seen. Left to be seen. Is it gonna get any further than this?
Probably won't.
Morning, Damien.
It probably won't.
So we're going after this. We're going from December. Or does that mean that there is going to be an opening from December?
That's a whole other conversation too.
I think I need some tea. Bye.
We take